What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and Dungeons & Dragons continues to circle the drain, which is why I continue to recommend people get into the Warhammer RPG. The universe is a little better. The company is just as woke, but they haven't started so whole hog messing with the game. There has long been this bizarre fake outrage that somehow orcs are black people. I don't really know any other way to describe it, but that's what white social justice warriors seem to think. Now, to me, it's super obvious that they're projecting their own racism. To the rest of the world, I don't know. And now, Dungeons & Dragons has officially removed negative racial ability score modifiers from the rules, including orcs. Why? Because orcs are black people, apparently. And there is just a absolutely perfect meme for this. We have the soy screamy person saying, D&D is getting rid of the concept of, quote, evil races. Orcs aren't inherently evil, just like you guys. Black person says, wait, you think I look like an orc? I mean, that's exactly... 2.4 thousand likes compared to the original post with 142. I mean, absolutely destroyed. And if you just look at these comments, as a dedicated halfling player, let me just say cool. I love choosing halfling not to overcome my relative size and lack of brute strength with cunning, swiftness, and intelligence, but rather to be the exact same thing as a half-orc. This is what D&D needed. Dripping with sarcasm. Put a lemur and a gorilla side by side and tell me that one is not physically stronger than the other. That's essentially what those are about. It's about deciding the weakness and strengths when picking what you want to play and things your character might have to overcome. That's part of the game. Having drawbacks to a character is a good thing. It adds a level of depth. It changes how you build your character. It changes what kind of equipment you're interested in. It changes all sorts of important things. And with any negatives, there are always positives. And that's the decision. That's what makes picking your character fun, you absolute freaking morons. By the way, I'm pushing hard for 1 million subscribers by Christmas. We can do it. We need about 500 more today. If you're watching this video and you're not currently subscribed and you feel like I've earned it, please click that red subscribe button right below the video. I'd really, really appreciate it. It'll help you keep up to date with the latest uploads. And it'll help tell YouTube that, well, somebody cares about my channel. Wizards of the Coast letting diddlers serve as high-level Magic the Gathering tournament judges and allowing to mingle with children who play the game, but they made sure to remove negative racial score modifiers in D&D. Well, whatever is important to them, I guess. 700 likes. One of these days, Wizards of the Coast is going to go bankrupt for not understanding Dungeons & Dragons has always been about humans versus monsters. We know it. I mean, what? What? I won't be surprised if D&D will remove races completely at this point, and then classes. Everyone will have to play the exact same character for the sake of inclusivity. I hate this. I don't understand how anyone thinks this is a good thing for the game. And if you're a black D&D player, did you ever in your did you ever think that orcs represented you? I don't believe. I never thought that. Nobody thinks that. Like when I'm watching Lord of the Rings, I'm like, yeah, this is an allegory for blacks, black people being aggressive. No, they're just orcs. They're mythical creatures. Nobody. What if orcs were orange then? Would you still be worried about it? Does all of this just come down to the fact that they're darker in color? Is that all this is? Remember when escapism wasn't infested with political agenda? AD&D remembers. Remember when creative people called the shots, not marketing and management? TSR remembers. But hey, who's stopping you from building your own system and playing on Forgotten Realms? Nobody. Exactly. I mean, what is this garbage? Dungeons & Dragons will no longer have a negative ability score modifier when building a character of a certain race. Last week, D&D officially released updated errata for a number of source books and adventures. The Volo's Guide to Monsters errata was particularly important, and it removed the negative ability score modifiers for playable kobolds and orcs. Oh, it's kobolds too now. While kobolds originally had a -2 modifier to their strength score, and orcs had a -2 modifier to their intelligence, the updated rules remove these modifiers entirely from the game, which is stupid! Orcs are dumb. Orcs are tanks. Orcs are aggressive. Orcs lead with their id brain, or with their like, what is it, reptile brain or whatever. Like, orcs are primordial. They are not thinkers. They are not intellectuals. And you trade the intellect for the strength. And guess what? The strength comes in handy a lot. And when you build your team, maybe you have a player on your team that picks a character that has higher intellect but weaker strength. And that's how you build your party. This is how Dungeons & Dragons has been played since the very beginning. Additionally, the errata also removes the orcs' menacing trait. Because, of course, black people, orcs, menacing. Don't you see? With the primal intuition trait, which grants players proficiency in 2 of the following options. Animal handling, insight, intimidation, medicine, nature, perception, and survival. These updated rules reflect previous comments by the D&D team that promise better representation in orcs? Dude! Nobody plays D&D to see their real life play out in front of them. It's a fantasy game, you morons. I'm broken. How do you even justify this? You can look at some of the comments here. The trends in gaming reflect the changing worldview of gamers. Addressing these sorts of issues in games are meant for both young gamers and mature gamers will have an effect on how gaming tables view races in general. I'm glad games are evolving. They're not evolving, they're regressing. Just make everybody the same, like, nondescript blob in the game then. We can all just play with characters that look like the characters from Among Us or Fall Guys in the next D&D. Ridiculous. This is such a nothing burger. And Wizards of the Coast can't keep their grimy little paws off the game. Another perfectly great example of how Wizards of the Coast has some of the best games on the planet run by the biggest idiots on the planet. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.